Welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast, the pretty much #1 NFC North podcast. I'm your host, Matt. Joining me as always, my co-hosts, Ryan and Moran. Fellas, it's WrestleMania week. How we feeling?
Oh, we're feeling wonderful. Peep the shirt, yeah?
Oh, that's vintage.
I'm feeling the same as I would any other week.
For those of our listeners only on audio, Moran's got a vintage, probably 1998 WWE Warzone t-shirt. Looks like it belongs in the friggin' Louvre. Congratulations, Miro. Excellent shirt.
Here, stand up, give us a look and twirl.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, that's okay. You don't got to
Come on, bro. You're wearing the shirt.
It's a strong shirt. For those of you on audio, the back is Steve Austin standing on the beer truck, getting ready to soak the corporation. Absolutely elite stuff. Love it.
It's a solid shirt.
Not even wrestling fan. The only good thing that happened in Detroit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's a lot of good things that happened in Detroit.
Heyo.
Packers-Lions 2024.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well, we're off and running. We're about a week and a half out from the draft. Next week is going to be our big draft show. We think we're going to break down, get a couple mocks, get a couple of our scenarios that we like, give ourselves a couple of paths, option A, option B, option C, to see just kind of where we end up. So we'll have full draft coverage next week. We'll get into the draft a little bit today, but nothing too crazy. A little bit of news before we dive into the show today. Again, not, slow time of the year until the draft starts. So a couple things I saw. That's Joe Flacco back to Cleveland on a 1-year deal for somewhere between $4 and $13 million. Kind of felt like a no-brainer. Ryan, any reaction to Flacco back in Cleveland?
One of the better decisions Cleveland's made, but that's not saying much. Like, that was a pretty magical run they went on. That was actually around the time we started this podcast. It was right after the NFL regular season 2 years ago. So, yeah, man, that was a legendary run. But every year for Joe Flacco right now must feel like 5 years. The guy's getting up there. So I don't know how much real impact it'll have, but you never know.
He is, yeah, he's getting up there. I'm sure that they are trying to make up for the fact that they inexplicably did not bring him back for last season, even though Deshaun Watson's shoulder was falling off, allegedly. Moran, Flacco back to Cleveland, you think it moves the needle?
Moves the needle is strong, but it doesn't put you on a massage table, so we're good there.
I like that.
We got 30 seconds into talking about Deshaun Watson without mentioning massages. Hooray for us.
But Flacco's a genius, bro. This is like his 7th 1-year deal, I think I seen. So
guy must have went to the Kirk Cousins school of guaranteed money. You gotta love that.
Dude, just the value of having a Super Bowl and, being able to play still. Like, he'll get paid probably as long as he can until he's officially a part of the AARP.
We talked about this last year. That's how a record will be broken. You win a Super Bowl and you're automatically guaranteed a job for 18 years.
Yeah, true that.
And to be fair, like it's pretty uneven, but Joe Flacco can still slang it. Like It ain't always gonna look pretty, but the guy throws a beautiful ball, absolute picturesque spiral.
I'm not giving you any flack for that opinion at all.
No flack for that. I see what you did there. And we didn't even mention the guy won comeback player over the year over a guy who basically died on the field. So pour one out for Damar Hamlin. But he
you know what's so funny about that too? Just dating back to that, the NFL so badly wanted to give it to Damar Hamlin, and I think the fans would have actually stormed the Capitol again. Like, something bad would have happened because that was just so not what the fans wanted at all.
Which Damar Hamlin were they going to give it to, though?
Okay.
You'll have to subscribe to Miro's other podcast for those thoughts.
There was a strong 2 or 3 days there where Moran was actually convinced that was not Damar Hamlin.
I'm still convinced. I really am. I still am. Call me crazy.
Brother, he went home to his family and stuff. Like, that's definitely him.
Yeah, just something seemed off. We won't get into the conspiracy theories, but we can talk about it on Miro's Madness. Tune in on Thursdays at noon.
Okay, don't do that. It doesn't exist, and you won't have a good time.
Moran has seen the movie Multiplicity. There'll be no fooling him where he's from.
No, sir.
We started off a little bit talking about big holiday this week. Something happened with Jesus, but we'll move past that into the real holiday and the best religion there is, which is professional wrestling. Moran wanted to know, what is your all-time favorite WrestleMania match?
There's a lot of good ones, but Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Oh, that was
March
a good one.
23rd, 1997,
Believe
in
that
Illinois.
I believe that was at the Rosemont Horizon in
It sure was.
Chi-Town.
It sure was. And I don't like... We were at my mom's this weekend, and some girl that was there, I won't mention her name in case she doesn't want to be on the podcast, but she's just like, you and my brother are dorks. All you guys talk about is wrestling. I'm like, you're a dork, sweetheart. You're a dork.
You know, it's not a form of entertainment for everyone, but you know, we'll continue to represent on the podcast. Ryan, I know you are not a big WWE wrestling fan. Do you have a favorite WrestleMania match?
You know, Matt, honestly, I'm not anymore. But growing up, I was probably just as big of a fan as Moran. Like, we used to watch it together all the time. I had my favorite wrestler, The Undertaker. Shout out to Taker, the dead man. And I found it wildly entertaining when I was younger, and that was just
Still
like
is.
the prime age of wrestling. It was awesome. Like The Rock, Stone Cold, whatever. I don't know if this is WrestleMania, but I'm going Hell in the Cell. Undertaker versus Mankind, where he threw him onto those thumbtacks, and they were actually like sticking to his back, and it was all bloody. That was like the craziest wrestling event I think that's ever happened.
Absolutely excellent match. Rock versus Mankind was not at WrestleMania. I believe that
Wait,
was
No, Undertaker versus
Undertaker,
Mankind.
right?
Oh, what did I say?
You said The Rock.
Oh, yeah. Got the Rock on the brain with a Cena heel turn. But yes, the Undertaker versus Mankind was King of the Ring, I believe, in 98 in Pittsburgh. But an awesome
You know
match,
this.
and we'll give it to you. There's a lot of stuff in my brain that's just it's just elite knowledge. But you know, we can jump back in. I know people didn't tune in to hear our wrestling takes. Well, maybe some did, but the majority probably came here to talk a little football. Another piece of news, I did see the Bears. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Chicago's favorite NFC North team extended cornerback Kyler Gordon 3 years, $40 million with $31 million guaranteed. Makes him the NFL's highest paid slot corner. He did play a majority of his snaps in the slot last year. He can play outside as well, but yeah, as a Bears fan, I thought this was a kind of a no-brainer move. Kyler Gordon's been healthy. He's been on the field. He's been reliable. He was part of Ryan Poles' first draft class first draft class in 2022. So always like to see rewarding your own guys, locking them up when they've played well. Not sure how much Kyler Gordon you guys have watched, but any thoughts on the extension? Moran?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. I don't know much about him. I do know he's good. I know, but anytime I see highest paid slot corner or highest paid anything, I always hesitate. So you tell us, was he really that good?
So he was really good last year. He's versatile. They move him around. He's kind of like a chess piece on defense. I don't know how we're breaking down contracts versus slot corners versus non-slot corners, because you know that's what, like $13 million a year, and J.C. Horn and Derek Stingley are getting 25. So if you're getting him at half the money of the top of the market, I think it's a good deal. I'm definitely fine with it. I'm glad we locked him up. Next step, let's get Joe Tooney signed. Let's get a couple other guys extended, spread those cap hits out so that we can continue to get more awesome players, because that's what I'm in for.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I don't know why he's still laughing. It wasn't that funny.
The audacity from around to pull out his cell phone. and play a fart noise in response to this topic is wild to me. That was really good. But we could have made it a drop.
It just goes to show you, my son who is 2, my dad who is 70, will both laugh when I play that for them on the podcast. Fart jokes are funny. It doesn't matter how old you are. That's just good humor.
Oh, can I? Sorry, to get away from football, I have to tell this story. I'm so sorry. Ryan knows what's coming. Ryan has a possessed cat named Noah. Okay? For some reason, this cat hates fart noises. Let me explain. So Ryan said something, I played the fart noise like I was ripping on him. This cat got on the back hooves and was like, "Ah," and just scratched the shit out of me. And anytime he attacked me, he jumped at my face. So I told Ryan, next time I see this cat, I'm going to put him in the garage and just play the fart noises on repeat.
Yeah, if you have a story about your cat reacting to fart noises, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, let us hear about it in the comments.
Yeah, that was actually crazy, bro. He's a rough cat anyway. We play at Scratch all the time, but he literally went after Moran. It was crazy to see.
Noah fart noises, where he's staying in the future. It's good to know.
Lay it down right in front of me. I could ask him, but he doesn't give a shit.
All right. Kind of tying into that 2022 draft class I mentioned, draft grades are always a big thing, right? We got to grade the first round. Oh, the Lions, they picked a running back and a linebacker. Give them an F. Can't pick a running back. We're always grades. I always thought it was a pretty solid rule of thumb to give it 3 years in a draft class before you give it a grade. So we were thinking today we would just revisit the 2022 draft, which was, 2022. So those guys have played now 3 seasons in the NFL. Just kind of give our thoughts and maybe an actual grade on how we think the GM performed with those picks, at least within the first couple rounds. So we're just going to kind of go off of where guys were picked. Couple thoughts. Ryan, let's start with you. The Lions were picking second overall. Not great.
Nope.
They started the draft with Aiden Hutchinson, and in the second round, they scooped up Josh Pascal. Looking back 3 years in the rearview mirror with time to reflect, how do we think Brad Holmes did in 2022?
Well, and don't forget, that was also the Jameson Williams draft. Took him 12th. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And if we're judging these 3 picks all together, if I were to just put one word to each of them, for Hutch, great. Jamo's been pretty good. Pascal's been mid. You kind of just go down the list right there. Yeah, he's all right. Pascal's just nothing to write home about. And this is not me hating on Josh Pascal, but for a second round pick after a few years now, you'd like to see a little more impact. He played a lot last year. He played probably more snaps than he would have just because of all the injuries we had, especially on the defensive line. A much better run stopper than he is a pass rusher. So he doesn't get the glitz and glam that come with being an edge player because of that, because he's just not a high sack guy. But last year was definitely his best year. He's getting better, if that counts for anything. Last year was also Jamo's best year. Jamo had 1,000 yards. He broke that. A lot of people are talking about Jamo lately because we had Matthew Golden, the wide receiver in the upcoming draft, come through to, I guess, work out with the Lions, or Holmes has been taking a look at him. And a lot of people think that means we're replacing Jamo, especially with his, contract coming up, and we're not going to want to pay him all that money. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't. Personally, I like him as a player, but with kind of the baggage he comes with and how pricey he's going to be, we just don't want a Bengals situation where you're paying 2 receivers that top money. So, but all in all, that was just a really good draft in general. That's the year we took Kirby Joseph. We got Malcolm Rodriguez. We had James Houston come on strong. That just kind of helps solidify Brad Holmes as a really good GM. That was an amazing draft he had, honestly, when you look at the top talent we got there, especially in the later rounds. But yeah, what about you, Miro? How are you feeling about the Packers 2022 draft with your highlight picks being Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, and Christian Watson.
So Christian Watson, there's a lot left to be desired, but he's still, since 2022, of all the players drafted that year at his position, he's still, I think, in the top 3 in touchdowns. Him and Romeo Doubs. Go figure. Both were drafted in 2022. But as a whole, I love the draft class. Literally everyone's still on our team, except Tariq Carpenter, Jonathan Ford, and Samare Toure. Quay, Devontae, Watson, Ryan, Dobbs, Tom, and Egbare, all starters, which is wild to think of.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's one of the better linebackers in football. Quay Walker is a good linebacker. He is a hothead. Lions fans won't get over the pushing of a trainer. Like, get over it. It happened. No big deal.
Should we, though?
Yeah.
Why should we get over that? That was one of the most egregious things.
Egregious. Did you know that trainer, like, passed away?
Oh my God! Don't be that guy to just sugarcoat this and make it no big deal.
Okay, well, apparently the trainer can't continue his career. Sorry, trainer. Ryan, you even know that trainer's name? Must not be that important. Must not be that important.
I shouldn't know that trainer exists, but I do because a professional football player pushed him down when he was doing his job because he was mad that they were getting their ass kicked. You know, whatever. We don't have to go down this road. You know, from the same franchise that still talks about Ndamukong Suh stomping 15 years ago. You know,
stomping on a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's a little bit different than pushing a trainer, but anyways, I digress.
He stomped on the lineman. It wasn't on a
I do think this was one of Goody's best drafts, and it's not even arguable. And
I would argue that Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt have both been underwhelming. I was going to say disappointing, but I thought underwhelming. A lot of that is shaped by the Packers defense as a whole, fairly consistently underperforming with as much first-round talent as they have on the line and at the linebacker spot. I think both guys are fine. You know, both are serviceable NFL players, but I would give it, like, if I were grading that Packers draft, at least with Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, and Christian Watson, C?
Wow.
What would you grade it?
I think it's B plus.
Stop.
And the reason, again, is Tom and Ryan are going to be 10-year starters on the line. Quay Walker
he crushed it later in the draft. I was talking specifically just about round 3. Exactly.
Those 3. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because both like I said, Christian Watson, a lot of tools. Walker and Wyatt coming out of Georgia, both. I don't know. I can't figure out why all the Eagles do is get Georgia Pro Bowlers and everyone else is like, the Georgia guys are no good.
The guy I'm most upset with, and he's been. So last year, Quay Walker was literally one of the better linebackers at stopping the run. But when you run a 4-4, 4-5, you need to defend the pass better. So, but also, I think there's certain defensive coordinators, and Hafley is very good. We were top 10 in the league last year in defense. But you got to use these guys to your strength. I don't know the obsession with dropping Quay Walker into coverage. I never, ever understood it. Just stop doing it. He's not good at it.
Right? So and you have guys that are. Like, what are we doing? Why are we he's not good. Figure it out. I know.
Could it be though that he's trying to give him exposure so he can get better at it?
No. There's literally guys that are good at doing it. We have 4 safeties that are good at coverage. You can literally play guys like Isaiah Simmons, future Packer, by the way. You can literally play them in hybrid roles. Quay Walker is not a hybrid safety. He has never been. And then
he's more of a defensive end than a safety. And correct. They play him like a safety.
Yeah, correct. Use his speed. Use his speed. Let him get to the ball and let him create the edge. He's very good at that. Instead, we expose him, and then I got guys like Ryan telling me he's not good when he is.
I mean, he's not he's not bad, but he's not good, bro. He
not
is
a good
what he is.
He's not a good safety. I agree.
No. I don't think he's just. I think he's very mid. Like it's just Matt kind of said it. Like he's an NFL player. Like that is what he is.
He's solid, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's mid with the way we use him. I agree with you.
Well, you know what though, when
That's
you're
fair.
mid,
That's a big part of it, though.
It is a big part of it, but when you're mid and you're also just immature and you get dumbass personal foul penalties,
I'm not doing that.
And you get kicked out of games. Bro, that was the first thing you mentioned was his maturity, not me.
Correct.
You said that.
I did, but it's also overblown, and I fell for it. There was like 3 games where he had a little mishap.
You know why they're overblown though? Because they're in crucial moments and they're dumb as hell. That's why.
That's the
they're
issue.
Dumb things to do.
That's the issue. If you have 3 personal fouls all year and they literally cost your team.
Yeah,
they're like 30. So I get it.
Yeah,
that's
fine, right?
Three too many when it matters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ask LaFleur how he feels. Like you can read lips. Like there's footage of him saying, "Be smart, be smart." That's the whole clip, right? I love that clip because you rarely see him that upset. So, and I love seeing him upset. You know. So I
love the move where people point to their head. Use your brain. Your brain. It's always a good move.
Yeah. Low key, very disrespectful, but
I know.
Legit. Be smart.
I'm gonna
use your head.
I'm gonna start doing that when LaFleur forgets to run the ball in the second half when we have a lead. But it's
just
okay.
Bring that from home.
Literally.
Hopefully he'll see that.
Literally.
Real quick. Speaking of using your head, because we just had the Masters come and go. Shout out to Rory McIlroy for winning that, by the way. Matt, did you ever hear the story of me and Moran at the driving range?
Oh, I don't believe I have.
Bro.
Okay, I'll tell the story.
I want to tell the story.
Okay, go ahead.
With all due respect, because I'm the one who got the worst of it. Me and Moran are at the driving range. How old were we? Like 15 at this point?
15, 16.
Not old at all. Teenagers, right? And we don't golf. You know, comes with being Arabic, I suppose, unless you're from Saudi Arabia. You just don't do it.
I was going to make a white joke there, but I just didn't do it.
Hey, I made it for you. You're all good.
I thought you were going to say we're used to the sand. I get that one all the time.
That's a pretty good one.
I would not. No. But that is funny.
But we're at the driving range, and I'm a good 6 feet behind Murad or something, not even close, and he's up there hacking. And for some reason, you're supposed to go back. Murad went back with the club, and for some reason, 6 feet to his right, and he nailed me in the side of the head with the driver. Nailed me. I literally fell to the ground.
Big swings.
Okay, so first of all, I told Ryan to look closely, and this guy leaned in, so he was about 2 feet from me.
Matt, if someone told you to look closely, what do you do? Do you step away?
If I told Matt to look closely and I'm holding a barrel to his head, he probably wouldn't look closely.
What are you doing?
It's a figure of speech because I'm 300 drive.
One of those depends on the circumstances, I'd say.
All right. Well, it hurt. Guys made fun of us at the driving range. We never went back out of both embarrassment and just being shameful at the game. So,
you know, it is what it is. Golf is for the rich anyway. We'll get there someday.
But anyway, the Bears 2022 draft, I'll set it up for you.
Yeah, 2022, the Bears did not have a first rounder because Ryan Pace just liked to trade those away because they didn't matter. We used it the previous season to trade up for Justin Fields. So we would have had, I believe, pick 7, which was Evan Neal from Alabama, who at the time I was like, oh, this guy, he's going to be good. He's terrible. So that's probably who we would have taken if I had to guess. But our first 2 picks were Kyler Gordon, the aforementioned Kyler Gordon, who just got extended. So round 2 corner that you're extending feels like a great pick. We also drafted Jaquan Brisker, a safety out of Penn State. He's been really, really solid when healthy. He's had some issues with concussions. Hopefully that's behind him. He missed the last probably 8 or 9 games of last season out with a concussion. He definitely was not a Matt Eberflus fan, judging by his Twitter activity after Eberflus was relieved of his duties. But yeah, so the Bears started off with Gordon and Brisker, a couple picks in the secondary. At the time, I really was hoping the Bears were going to take George Pickens, another Georgia product, who I was super, super high on coming out. I'll be honest, 3 years later, I have no idea if I actually wish the Bears should have taken George Pickens. He is a frustrating player to watch at times, but the dude is ultra talented. We picked Velus Jones in round 3. He's on the street somewhere. We did find Braxton Jones, our starting left tackle, who's been solid, if not spectacular, at left tackle in round 5. So anytime you find a playable left tackle in round 5, that seems like a win.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, for Ryan Poles' first draft, I'd say that's without a first rounder. I'd give that like a nice solid B plus. Found a few starters without a first rounder. Had a bunch of dart throws in round 6 and 7. One guy, Doug Kramer, still on the team, but nothing crazy. So, but yeah, about a B. And then Ryan, did we ever get a grade from you on the Lions 2022 draft overall?
Oh, you know what? No, I gave words on them individually, but I would say, are you asking the whole draft or just the first 2 rounds?
Let's get just the first 2 rounds. The Hutch pick, the trade up to Jamo, and the Josh Pascal.
I would say, I mean, I'm very happy with that. Like, I think that's got to be an A-. Like, Hutch is spectacular. He was on his way to a Defensive Player of the Year. And yeah, he fell into our lap. Shout out to Jacksonville.
I was going to say, how much did Jacksonville passing on him influence, that grade?
Honestly, Trayvon Walker's a decent player. He's good. Like, he's not a bad player. He gets a lot of flack because he went over Hutch.
He also hasn't missed any games.
Yeah. I mean, not Hutch's fault. That was kind of a gruesome freak injury, but, But, I mean, hey, you walk out of there with Jamo, who's a very serviceable wide receiver, too, if not a very good one. You have Hutch, who's, one of the better edge rushers in the league. And you have Pascal, who's a solid defensive starter. Like, I'll take that all day.
You mentioned earlier, just on topic, but off of that a little bit, not necessarily being sure about wanting to extend Jamo. Would you be comfortable giving him, call it, the Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle contract, which is like 24 to 26 million a year? So like 10 million to 12 million off the top of the market.
On our team, no. We have too many players to pay. We got to pay Gibbs. We got to pay Laporta. We got to pay Branch. We got to pay Kirby Joseph. Like, someone has to go. And out of all the guys I just named, Jamo's the one who's leaving that group. I'm sorry. Like, I like Jamo as a player. I was rooting for him all last year. He kind of came on strong, but I'm not paying you over Gibbs or Laporta.
So when
I think wide receivers like that you can't find a stud tight end. Ask all these teams.
When did it become a thing where Lions fans think they have the luxury to not pay people? You guys have been good for 2 years. Like,
Ron, we've already paid so many
and
people.
So have the Eagles. So have the Chiefs. What does that mean?
Yeah, what do you think Hutch's deal is going to be?
It doesn't matter.
He's going to get paid stupid money.
And Chris Jones
by himself.
And Chris Jones got paid stupid money. Teams keep players.
Yes, but they can't keep all of them.
Okay.
Right? We've paid Goff. We've paid Amon-Ra. We've paid Ali McNeil now. Hutch is coming up. Like, it's not feasible to keep all of them.
But isn't that when a GM shows his worth? Like, if your way of keeping guys and keeping your team good is by getting rid of the first adversity you have with contracts, you're probably not that guy.
No, I wouldn't. I think that's a really negative way of looking at it. I think that's where the talk about trading Jamo on draft night has come up for some people, and that's what they want to do. A lot of people are saying that he could go for a first-round pick. I don't think he would. I think, if anything, it's like a second-round pick.
Do you get where I'm coming from with this? Like, it's just like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, I think it all ties together, right? Because, like, I don't really think... Like, I feel like a little bit, Ryan, you have to talk out of both sides of your mouth to get there with that draft grade, because I liked Jamo in college. I thought he was unbelievable. I think it's probably naive to say that it was the right move to trade draft capital to get back into the first to get him, while also being like, I don't really know that I'm comfortable extending him. Like, that's you're kind of playing both sides of the fence there, you know?
I think that's fair, but I also think that, like, trading up for a player who you knew was missing his first year in the first round is crazy. Like, that's objectively crazy looking back on it.
It's a big risk.
I'm talking about, I'm more looking at it from the player he turned out to be. Like when everything finally got settled this year and all the gambling suspension was done and over with, like he came into the year fresh, he played well. Like we kind of got to give credit where it's due. And that was like his floor, I think. Like the ceiling for Jamo is very high still.
His
and I think
floor
that
is
teams are willing
1,100?
to. Well, he got just over 1,000. But playing 16 games, yeah, I think that's his floor.
love Lions fans, man. I really
He
do.
didn't even play 16 games. He missed a couple.
I'm actually like,
Dude, he
and
missed
I
a couple
think
games.
I think it's because I watched so much 2022 Alabama. Like, I still think there's a non-zero chance that Jamison Williams has like a crazy like breakout upside at some point. He might not have it between the ears to get there, but like this dude is crazy talented, and
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, I don't think losing Ben Johnson helps that cause, but to be determined. But I think I'm not closing the book on superstar Jamison Williams quite yet, but 3 years you can learn a lot, and definitely been underwhelming compared to just personally what I thought he was going to be coming out of Bama.
I just don't know if Jamo is a career Detroit Lion. You know what I mean? Like, I can't envision a pathway where he spends his whole career with us and does well. And not because he can't or he doesn't have the talent. I just think that a lot has happened between the ears, right? Like, he has made dumb decisions, and that does not reflect well on him. And honestly, I think he's a player who, given a fresh start and the right situation, could absolutely break out. And hey, that could be for us too. I just don't think it's worth the money given all the other guys we have to
So
pay.
this is what Matt was talking about, talking out of two sides of your mouth, or both sides of your mouth, however you want to phrase it.
What can I say?
Because you can't give your grade an A- in 2022, and then your second first-round pick doesn't get a second contract with your team. That makes no sense.
That would be tough, for sure.
But why? They're so expensive.
It doesn't
bro.
matter.
Okay, so let me ask you the same question. As a team who does not have a receiver, shout out to the Packers, are you giving Jamo 4 years, $120 million?
I don't think Jamo's as good as you do, though.
But that's the going rate for him. That's what it will
but
be.
You literally were on your knees for Jamo this year. I was not.
Sitting here right now, though, seeing what you saw,
Jamo's not better than a couple of our receivers.
he outgained every
I don't
receiver on
care
your
because
team.
we have more options. We've been through this.
Oh
If
my God! No, you don't. What do you mean you have more
We
options?
have more
Our offense is loaded.
Ryan, who's your third?
are
Who's
you
your
talking
third
about?
receiver? Matt Young.
Sam Laporta.
That doesn't count. Who's your third receiver?
Why not? Why
Who's
not?
your-
Tim Patrick.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did Tim Patrick really do that much worse than Dontavian Wicks? No, he didn't.
Here's how we can settle this exercise. Moran, what receivers on the Packers would you want on your team ahead of Jamo?
Oh,
Christian,
beautiful
Romeo, Wicks, and Reed.
question. Stop it. All right.
Just being honest. That's fine.
For our audio listeners, Ryan has left the podcast.
He makes me
Yes.
so
If
mad, bro. He makes me so
If Reed was on the
angry.
Lions, he's getting 1,400 yards.
Why? Jordan Love's better than Jared
It's not
Goff. What
because
happened?
we have more options from top to bottom.
Oh my God, bro! You guys have no options. We've talked about this. You don't have a
We
go-to
don't-
receiver. I don't know how many times we can have this
And
argument.
I'm going to get back into this argument. I'll let it go at this. We don't have any number one options. Our receivers blow. Jordan Love blows, and somehow we're still top 10 in the league.
God, bro, what does that mean?
A
Who
lot.
cares? What does it mean?
Love just talking ball with the boys in the off season. Life is good. If I were playing moderator here, I would say Dontavian Wicks or Romeo Dobbs over Jamison Williams Moran, they could put you in prison for those takes.
That's fine.
If you
throw
wa-
Watson in there.
Yeah, honestly, Watson's
The
a
difference
bum.
is when
Watson's a
Jamo
bum
beats
too.
a guy downfield, he actually catches the ball for the touchdown.
and
Unlike,
he keeps his hamstrings. But other than that,
What's
real.
crazy to me is Ryan would keep Jamo over all these players, but he won't give him a second contract. He wants to have Tim Patrick as a second receiver.
if you heard
I
what
heard
I
what you
said,
said.
it's because we can't afford that contract with
The
all
Eagles
these
did.
other guys.
The
we gotta
Eagles
pay.
have 2 number ones.
Okay.
I think kind of placating both sides, it would be tough to see paying two receivers on the same team 25 to 30 per if neither of them is like a true alpha X receiver. Amon-Ra is great. He's an awesome player. He's a slot dude. He's undersized. He's never going to be a go up and get it, need it guy. Jamison Williams is a burner. Like, he's electric with the ball in his hands. He's not an X receiver, like a true X receiver.
Wait, I'm going to challenge Matt before you respond real quick. How can we sit here and say that Amon-Ra is not a go-to guy? Like, because
I didn't say he's not a go-to guy. I just said he's not like an alpha X receiver. He's a slot dude. He's a Cooper Kupp. He's a Lad McConkey. He's like a dude that
give me those two players all day too. I love those guys.
No, I know. And I this is not a dig on Amon-Ra. He's a great player. He's just like, if you're going to pay two guys, one of them better be like a straight up A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, alpha, Tyreek Hill.
But I view Amon-Ra in that same tier, and he continues to prove it. You walk away now. Go ahead. See you later. Adios.
Wide receiver talk this week on the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. Everyone's fired up.
Matt, he gets the same numbers as those guys year in, year out. It doesn't. He's just your body type is. I don't care how tall you are. Like, he gets the job done. What are we talking about? Do you catch the ball or do you not?
He's just a different style of player, and when you have, I think Amon-Ra is a lot more scheme dependent than those other guys. Would be my argument.
Here, I'm going to throw you an olive branch here. We're going to find out this year who Amon-Ra really is.
I think,
right?
I mean, I don't think he's like going to turn into a pumpkin by any means, but like,
can I just say something, Matt?
It's your podcast.
Matt hit it directly on the head. He is a scheme type player. Okay, Is Wes Welker better than Andre Johnson?
That is
I'm asking you something. Answer the question. Answer the question,
bro. I'm not gonna answer the question. I'm not going to answer it. Listen to me.
Can you answer the question?
Listen. No, I'm not going to answer the question.
It's
a stupid
question. Then I'm not listening.
And it's a trap question.
No, it's not. Here, Matt, I'll ask you. Matt, is Andre Johnson better than Wes Welker?
Yes.
Okay.
Bro, this is why Amon-Ra got drafted where he got drafted, because of everything you guys are saying.
He wrote down all the guys that were drafted ahead of him. We know. We got it. We got it.
And he'll continue to read that list, because had the draft gone, what pick do you think Amon-Ra goes in, knowing what you know now?
That doesn't matter.
What pick was he in that draft? Without even knowing the names ahead of him or whatever.
I mean,
it's top 10 pick. Top 10,
easily.
top 5?
Easily.
You can argue top 5.
Easily.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look at the names.
We're sitting here talking about the guy like he's not some crazy difference
maker. You just put him in the same tier as Jamar Chase and you didn't stutter. That's worrisome. You have a podcast. You have people to inform.
Ron, I think there's Justin Jefferson. Like, I'm not putting A.J. Brown above Amon-Ra. I'm just not doing it. And I'm a big A.J. Brown fan. Like, if you want to put Chase and Jefferson, I'm not going to argue with you. Okay? But, like, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, like, he's right up there. Like, that's not a huge... Sorry, bro.
I can't get there with you, but I do respect sticking up for your guys.
The reason why
I'm on both of your accounts.
The reason why I said Wes Welker, Andre Johnson, because when Wes Welker was in the Patriots scheme, he had better years than Andre. It just happened. Scheme is a big deal, Ryan. Scheme is...
Okay. So
if Amon-Ra's on the Panthers with nobody, does he do what he does?
Nobody does what they does on the Panthers. Does what they do.
DeAndre Hopkins did with no quarterbacks, with Tom Savage at quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's the same argument for you and your guys, that they're on Green Bay, so they're not as good because they have too many weapons.
No, that's different. Like, there's too many mouths to feed in Green Bay, and I always thought that was a problem. That's why I think getting rid of one or two
I guess we
help.
don't have talent everywhere at every offensive position.
Tim Patrick is great. You're right.
Yeah, because he's who I'm talking about.
Let's end on this note. A couple guys drafted within about 15 to 20 picks of each other, both with local connections. I say to you, Moran, Amon-Ra St. Brown or Nico Collins. Who you taking?
Nico, any day of the week.
Ryan?
Hey, I love Nico Collins, bro. But I'm not taking him over Amon-Ra.
All right, we're at a standstill. If I were gonna break the tie, I would go Nico Collins because he's just a dude. He's a dude's dude. And then a fun fact, I was just looking at some drafts. I've drafted 2 picks after Amon-Ra St. Brown. Anybody know?
True.
Drew Dahlman, new Chicago Bears center. Stanford, big brain, go far. Not sure if you guys are aware. All right. Let's put that to bed before you guys fist fight over Zoom and get onto the 2025 draft. I want to know your nightmare scenario. Maybe not nightmare, like, oh God, this is awful, but what would your team do to put you in a spot realistically, right? Like not taking a guy who's projected to go in round 7 in the first. Let's assume that doesn't happen. What's a realistic spot you could see, Ryan, the Lions in where you're like, I don't really know if I get that vision. I'm not crazy about it. What would a scenario like that play out like that for you?
I do not want us to draft any player in the first round who is not on the offensive or defensive line. I just don't want to see it.
That's specific. I like that. Even O-line. Yeah. Interesting.
I think we have such a crucial and obvious need at edge rusher, and I know that Brad Holmes does not care. I think he has his players in mind, and he will go get them. But if we're going to make a run at the Super Bowl, we need help on the line. It's that simple. So it either better be the backup tackle who's coming in when Taylor Decker eventually walks, or a guard, or preferably an edge rusher. That's what I want. So that would be my nightmare if we didn't do that.
All right. Miro, what are you not signing up for if the Packers call today? Maybe send you a fax on the old fax machine.
So just want to put a caveat out there. I would hate this pick, but I can see it working long term. And
that's fair, because that checks the box.
It would be an offensive lineman. Because we spent money this offseason. We also already have a very good offensive line. It would just be like, what are we doing?
Maybe we had bigger needs elsewhere that we could have addressed.
Correct.
Outside of O-line.
Correct.
No, that makes sense. I mean, and it's like, when it comes to week 9 and you have a first round dude you can sub in when, X guy is banged up or has a calf injury, that's when you're like, oh, well, it's credit to Goot. Maybe that was a good pick, and we can always go there. And like you said, you wouldn't be furious, but it'd be a head scratch.
The thing I will say is our first round pick got hurt this year, Jordan Morgan. Our second round pick got hurt this year, Marshawn Lloyd. So we kind of have, in a way, 2 first-round picks coming in this year and 2 second-round picks. So
this is the logic I used to use for the trade deadline for the White Sox.
No.
We got 9 injured guys coming back. Those are our additions.
No, I just feel like we can this draft this year is very we could literally draft anyone. And I know that sounds stupid. It's a draft. You can draft anyone, but
yeah, but I know what you mean. There's no position where you'd be like, we're absolutely set there. Oh my God, we have a glaring hole at X,
the
right?
only position that we would draft in the first round that would literally make me break something is safety. But everything else, I can explain the pick. But safety, I would be very, very, very upset.
It would be surprising, for sure. Because who's going to play a third safety out there?
And also the odds support that. I think us drafting a safety in the first round is plus 800. So it would be very shocking.
It'd be unlikely. For me, Ryan Poles has this thing where he just loves dudes who look great getting off the bus, is my theory. He just loves big, jacked dudes that run fast. I don't really want to draft an edge rusher that looks like a fucking Hercules but has no college production.
Name one.
Like a Shamar Stewart. I don't want to draft Shamar Stewart. I don't really want to draft one of the Georgia guys, Jalen Walker or McKell. The name's jumping out of my head, but there's a few dudes I've read about where I'm just like, if you're so big and so good and so fast, why did you have 2 sacks? Like,
Yeah, Mikael Williams.
Mikael Williams, exactly. I would rather just pick a dude with some production. We'll talk about it more, but yeah, that would be my, a project defensive end. And I'm cool with picking a D lineman, but like a project, I'd be like, really? Like another dude that we're going to wait 2 years for?
You know what's funny about that is that the 3 guys he just named, I'm looking at a mock by CBS right now, are literally right by the Bears picks, so that could easily happen.
No, it's...
I get what you're saying, but isn't that kind of like your free agent signing? Odebo, or whatever his name is, the guy I wanted?
Dio?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so Dio is like, drafting Shamar Stewart is like drafting Dio 3 years ago.
Okay, that's fair.
Like... we don't like, I just give me a dude who's either ready to rock and like, I don't need all the insane you can't teach 58-inch arms. Yeah, but like you could teach a dude how to be an effective pass rusher. So I want a dude, if we're going to go D lineman, I want a dude with some college production who fits the system. So we'll see. Whoever we end up picking, I'll undoubtedly talk myself
So
into.
just a fun question. If Dio was in the draft, are you upset you draft him first round? Like, as of today?
And I know what he is right now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not upset. Okay. I mean, like, depending on who's on the board and whatever, but like, no, I'm fine with that.
I'm just asking based on production because I wanted him as well, but I think the signing of him is more, what are you going to do for us and not what you've done? So it's kind of a project in itself.
Correct. I think you sign him assuming his best football is ahead of him. Obviously, you do that with draft guys as well. But, like, it feels like Dio's floor is just like, if you knew that, you would sign up for it just like knowing he's a 5-year NFL player at end. I think, like, it's unspectacular, but it's like, all right, it's solid.
I still love Dio. I didn't mean to disrespect him.
I know. He's your guy. Dio, if you're listening, follow us at Honolulu Cheese Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, at Honolulu Cheese on X, the everything app. All right, boys. We did some arguing. We did some pushing, some shoving. Now it's time to make some money for the people. I want to hear your can't miss, literally can't lose, guaranteed for the people. Bet the house, bet the mortgage, bet responsibly. I'm just kidding. These may not hit. So if you're listening, bet responsibly. What is one draft prop in the betting markets that you've seen that you think is a good bet and you would like our listeners to sprinkle some cheddar on, maybe ride with us? Ryan, we'll start with you.
All right. I have one that's Bears related. So I want to say it, and I also want to get Matt's thoughts on it.
Let's hear it.
The Bears are taking Ashton Genty. The Raiders, who are the team that's mocked to in most of them, okay? Hang on. Before you shake your head, let me finish. The Raiders have so many needs on their team, so many holes to fill. It would be ludicrous for the Raiders to take what I think is a luxury pick in a dominant running back. I don't see them doing it. Like, maybe they'll learn from the mistakes. If they do, it's just because they're the Raiders and that's what they're going to do. And so be it. But I think with the addition of Ben Johnson and DeAndre Swift he is who he is. He's just a guy, right?
100%.
Like, what better tool to give your second-year quarterback and your struggling offense than a dominant rookie running back? I just think it's the perfect fit for Ben Johnson to play with.
I agree with you wholeheartedly that that pick is not a smart pick for the Raiders to make. It's a luxury pick. I feel similarly about the Bears. I love Ashton Genty. He is incredible. The balance this dude has when he runs, he just does not get tackled.
And just for the segment, the Raiders are minus 150 to draft Ashton Genty. The Bears are plus 260. So, I mean, that's not gargantuan odds. That's something that could realistically happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, I think it's such a... I would be mad as a Lions fan if you got Genty. That's all I'll say.
I would, if it were me making the pick, I would not pick Ashton Genty with how deep I've read this class is at running back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I would be Like, it would take me about 2 seconds of watching more Ashton Genty highlights to not be like, all right, this is going to be pretty fun. Let's go. I do think he'll be gone by 10. He's like definitely a top 5, maybe a top 3 talent in this draft. So I think he goes before then. When I watch him, I've heard like a bunch of comps LT. When I watch him, like balance wise, he actually reminds me of Marshawn Lynch, which is why I think Raiders, Pete Carroll, I could see just impossible to bring down, crazy balance. So I could see the Raiders doing it. I think it'd be stupid for them, but we'll see. Moran, what about you? So you like Ashton Genty to the Bears plus 260. Also, if the Bears trade up to draft Ashton Genty, I will spike my computer through my basement floor. Moran, a draft prop that you like for the people.
So I know you said like can't miss this, that, but that's not how I bet. I'm gonna.
You're coming with a long shot. We know you, Moran. What's plus 1,800 that we're firing
I'm actually firing on a plus 2,000.
Okay, that's my point.
Yeah. No one likes for sure things in life. Like it's boring. I'm good. Like, but I'm gonna do the exacta as they call it in horse racing. Top 4 picks: Cam Ward, Shador, Travis, Abdul Carter, in that order.
Okay.
Shador going 2?
Yes.
So it's funny you say this because the more and more mock drafts that come out, the later and later Shador Sanders is going. Like the last one I saw had him going 21 to Pittsburgh, which I can't believe.
So,
like coming from where we were at.
I want to say something about Shador, but I don't. I'm going to leave it off the pod. We'll talk about it off the pod. But also, I think...
What the hell? You got to say it now.
No, I'm not going to because it's going to start a whole conversation. I'm good. But let's...
You don't want Dion coming after you.
No. I actually think Dion's the reason that Shador may fall, which is crazy to think. But I think people are worried about Dion, a.k.a. LeVar Ball. But Dion means well. LeVar Ball was like...
I don't know, man. Dion was an NFL player. He's like one of the best corners, if not the best corner of all time. I can't really see himself putting his kid in a situation where he's trying to like make up for that. Who knows? But he did like do a lot of talking previously. But I mean, that's Dion. He loves being relevant.
Yeah, it would be nuts if he went to. I'm not gonna lie. Like... It's a plus 2,000 for a reason, so I don't want people like on my phone. Oh, you're an idiot. You weren't even close. But yeah, it's a plus 2,000. Like that's betting. But at the same time, Ryan mentioned Pittsburgh. If Shador gets to Pittsburgh, Shador screams Pittsburgh. So I don't.
They should absolutely smash if he's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But a more
one.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to give my prop if you're still going.
Yeah, I was just going to say, my minus 280, Ryan's favorite type bet is McMillan from Arizona to be the first wide receiver taken. I love that guy.
I like that. Yeah,
even after what he said about, what was that controversial comedy made?
He does.
About not watching tape or whatever?
He doesn't watch film. Who does?
That's not what you want to say right before
he's a receiver.
Draft stock is determined.
I think that might have been like an old clip, though. I don't know when that was from. My prop that I saw was under 2.5 running backs to go in round 1 is minus 155 on DraftKings.com. Hashtag not a sponsor. DraftKings, hit us up. We'd love to have you on board. But under 2.5 running backs go in round 1 is my prop. It's obviously Genty is a smash. It sounds like Omari and Hampton from North Carolina is pretty much a lock to go in the first round. I have a hard time seeing anybody else sneak in. I guess it's possible.
Who would be the
one
third?
Of the Ohio State. Probably depends on your flavor. Maybe one of the Ohio State guys. Maybe Caleb Johnson from Iowa. That would probably be the end of the list. But yes, I guess we will find out next Thursday. So before we get out of here, boys, any final thoughts?
Can I just say, going back to the draft dream and nightmare scenario, it should be a nightmare for Green Bay fans to not take a receiver in the first round. Let's just say what's on everybody's mind.
I would absolutely be pissed off.
if you guys took
Correct.
a receiver in the first round? All right. Look, I'm not saying it needs to be first round, but you need a receiver, bro.
That's fine.
It just is what it is.
Remember, we drafted Devontae in the second. Don't forget that.
And you don't have a Devontae now.
And we still are top 10 in offense.
All right.
It would be surprising if the Packers left like Friday of
No
the
chance.
draft without a pass catcher.
No chance.
Right?
They
got to get somebody somewhere.
Let me rephrase. I would be upset if it's not McMillan. If we take McMillan in the first, I'll be happy. We've had him in for... We were the only team at his pre-draft workout, or whatever they called it, and then he had a private workout where we were the only team as well, which is crazy because he's going to be the number one receiver off the board, you think? So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
But, hey...
Too hot in Arizona, I guess.
I guess so.
It's a scorcher out there.
Again, I won't be mad if we take a receiver, but we don't need one in the first round. If it happens, it happens. I'll be happy either way. But to say, I'd be so... Ryan, this is why you're not a Lions fan. You guys got Jerry Rice as the second receiver, according to you, and you guys don't want to give him a second contract. We can sign off on that.
Bro, we're not getting back into this.
That's fine.
He would be the best receiver on your team tomorrow. He absolutely would be with the most talent by far, actually.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments. Would Jameson Williams be the best wide receiver on the Packers? Let us know what you think. We're going to post some social clips this week, and tune in next week. Big draft show. We've got some really cool stuff planned, some ideas for kind of going through some mocks, talking positions, talking guys we like, guys we don't. So tune in. We're super stoked. We also talked about maybe doing a like a post-draft episode, maybe after, like on Friday. So we'll see. I didn't tell Ryan and Moran about that, so their faces might look a little surprised in the video. But I was like, they'll probably be down. I'm just gonna say it. So, but yes, tune in next week. Tons of content to come. And on that note, hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy WrestleMania. Happy Easter. 420 to those who celebrate.
Birthday, Mom.
Big weekend of holidays.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday to the lovely Mrs. Abelhosen. Haven't met her personally, but she's probably a dynamite lady.
Moran's birthday is coming up too. 3 days after that. 423. Happy birthday,
It's not
Mom.
about me. It's okay. It's not about me. We'll talk about me next week.
Oh, what a humble, nice guy.
423. We'll get Moran a cake. It'll be excellent.
Same day as Shakespeare.
Ryan,
No
why don't you
coincidence.
take us home?
All right. And with that, may your Kool-Aid stay blue.
And your head stay cheesy.
The Bears.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.